I'm William Nozak, and in this module, I'm going to cover analyzing data. Why analyze data? To inform business decisions. We're going to spend money on things and on channels and on ad spend, on maybe some affiliate marketing. And we need to understand what's the return on that investment, what's the return on that ad spend. So it's going to help us uncover patterns, which can be important and deceptive at the same time. Remember, marketing is not in a kind world, it's in a wicked world. And so if you've ever heard the book Range, go read the book Range. It helps you understand when we're doing things in a kind world where patterns are everything, pattern recognition wins the day. When we're in a wicked world where pattern recognition is nothing, i.e. marketing can be that way, we certainly want to take patterns with a grain of salt and remember that patterns can change at any given time. At the same time, it's not really totally kind, it's not really totally wicked, it's in the middle. So some pattern recognition is needed. At the same time, we have to iterate when those patterns no longer make sense. And that's staying nimble on your mental feet and remembering that things are changing, competition is changing, and the market is changing all the time. And so capitalize when you can and change as quickly as you need to. So we want to have a higher or as high as return on investment as we possibly can. Return on marketing efforts, return on ad spend. We have to show and prove that the money that is being spent on these things is making sense for the company. And so that's why you're going to need sheets. You're going to need to be able to analyze the data, show that the trends or things may be moving slower than the C-suites want, but they are moving. The needle is moving. And really at the end of the day, that is the most important thing. Are we moving the needle in the right direction? Benefits customers by ensuring they see targeted ads. When we learn that the bounce rate on a certain ads is 100% or that the quality score is low, then we need to modify our ad copy or really target other keywords. Or when a keyword is opening up 1,000 phrases that are top of the funnel, we're spending money on ads, right? We want to be as close to the bottom of the funnel for the most case, in most cases as possible with our ad spend so that we can show a return on investment. And it's super important with ads. Whereas SEO, we can be at the top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, the bottom of the funnel. We're expanding our SEO footprint in all of those levels of where potential clients are. Ad spend is not that way. So benefiting customers, businesses that use 5 or more analytics tools are way more likely to see improvements on their marketing campaigns. We're talking information from Search Console. What keywords are we really doing well for? We're talking information from Google Analytics, Google Keyword Tool Planner, Google Trends, search engine optimization tools such as Ahrefs, SEMrush, and things like that. They're giving us different slices of how we're doing. Facebook analytics, Twitter analytics, Instagram analytics, Google My Business analytics, and then aggregating this information to see a really large how's our footprint changing type of thing. This is why we analyze data, to show people that, look, we are making a huge change, even if today in this month, because it's not a, the sales don't happen in the same frequency every month, right? It's a seasonal business. You gotta show some people this, that look, in these 5 months, this is 80% of your business. Some business owners might not even recognize that trend and how they can save and pull back their ad spend and strategy in certain months and really ramp it up in others. These are super important insights that marketing managers and CMOs have to provide the other C-suites. So how businesses use marketing analytics, we're gonna aggregate it. We're gonna look at it in aggregation as how's the whole footprint, how's our full impression load moving, how's our click load moving, how's our lead load moving, how's our sales load moving. We wanna look at that from an aggregate form. Of course, we wanna look at it down the granular channel, website, ad spend. Then we're gonna mine some information and make some changes against that information. And then forecasting, where we are today is not where we will be tomorrow, and where the potential buyers are today is not where they will be tomorrow. And so we want to stay in front of changes, and then making optimizations. This is the analytics part. How is Google changing its algorithm? These tools that we use for SEO performance, they should keep us in front of those things. Obviously, Google's always moving to faster, leaner, better for end users. That's their whole name of the game, is they're providing the best options for you against your query. And so we want to always optimize against those needs of the end user. And Google appreciates that, Google's algorithm, I should say. and how they continue to make modifications to that algorithm. And then visualization and reports, Data Studio, Tableau, really presenting that information for people that need to make decisions or decision makers so that they can see what we're doing. And oftentimes they really won't understand or even see how a huge ship needs to change directions and how it takes time. And that's why we really have to show aggregate data, and you have to have short-term wins with ad spend and long-term wins with SEO. And you have to have people that really understand the power of marketing and how some things will take a long time depending upon who the competition is. What metrics should be measured? Brand awareness. We're looking at Search Console and bleeds into Google Analytics and how many people searched the brand name or branded terms last year versus how much of those people are searching it now this year. Maybe last month we had an average branded term volume in Google of say 1,000 a month, and now we've got an average branded term volume of 1,500 a month, or we're up a couple thousand. Branded terms, oh my gosh, these are people that know you, know your product, know your service. These are hot bottom of the funnel people. This says something in regard to our brand awareness and branding efforts, and also marketing. If you're marketing in Facebook, right, that's 50% branding, 50% ads. It's like in the middle, unlike Google ads, which it's really very little branding. It's just, hey, you're searching for this thing, need this thing, here we are, you need us, please click our ad and help us get our return on ad spend up, right? We don't know you, it's cold, there's no connection there, and those are oftentimes some of the hardest clients, but they also are, and that's also some of the best ways to scale your business and get new clients, especially if that client has a long lifetime value, 5 years, forever. If we can get them, they always stay and they bring a lot to the bottom line over time. Maybe we spend a lot for them up front, but they stay forever. And so the CAC is 10, 15, 20% cost to acquire that client against the LTV value. And even though they don't know us, but they know that we service them and they get to our website and it looks good, they trust us, buy from us, their LTV is 10 years, 20 years, forever. These are all things we have to understand and present. So leads, are we getting more leads from our impression cloud, our click load, our leads? Are we getting more form fill outs? Are we getting more phone calls? Is this tracked with Google Tag Manager and then created in goals in the Google Analytics so we can say, look, this traffic, this stuff we're doing is creating more goal completions. Who are they? Where'd they come from? And what do they do on the website? What are their behaviors? And then conversions, when we get those leads, are we converting some of them, right? Not all leads are the same. Facebook leads are different than Google AdWords leads, are different than organic leads, are different than word of mouth leads, are different than email marketing leads. They're all very different in temperature. And so we want to make sure that we've got lead conversions that are improving. Like if it's 1%, how can we get to 2%? And then web traffic. Are we improving our digital footprint in everything that has to do with our space? We want to be the source in the space. We want to be the expert. We want to be the authority. We want to gain trust so that when people are at the top looking around, trying to learn, hey, can I do this myself? I can't. Well, then I'm in the middle of the funnel. Well, what are the different companies and what are the different value propositions and who should I choose? And we're there. And then the bottom of the funnel, I think I knew who I want, and boom, they can find you. They see your social media. They see people are leaving good reviews on your GMB if you've got a brick and mortar, or even a service company that services an area. Or they're hitting the website, and when they get to the website, they can convert on that website, and the website works, and it's fast. And then the SEO, this is a different set of metrics. Are we doing the right things that as Google continually changes their algorithm, that we're gonna continue to benefit from those changes instead of getting some type of manual or algorithmic penalty? Brand identity, do people recognize us? Are we using 50 different logos and different colors? Do we have a brand guide? Are we using the same colors and typographies across all of our social media channels, our directories, our websites, etc.? Does the brand stay consistent? Can people identify it when they're in these different places? And then customer retention, when we get them, when we turn a lead into and convert it to a sale, are they staying? Are they staying the lifetime value that they should be? Are they staying 1 to 2 years when truly they should be staying for 5? Are we doing the right things to keep the right clients. If you are losing your favorite clients or your best clients, you better change things fast, because those are the people we want to build our business upon. And if we're not doing the right things to keep them, you've got to change everything. And when we can only keep the ones we really don't want, doesn't make any sense. And so we want to make sure we've got good retention. We want to make sure that we've got an LTV that's longer than the competition, longer than expectation. So data aggregation. This is where we're going to aggregate the data points. And Data Studio is a great place where you can bring in Facebook data and Google Analytics data, Search Console data, GMB data, and get yourself a large understanding of the entire footprint. Because a lot of times C-suites, they want to see these large numbers. Hey, I'm spending money. How's that footprint changing? How's the impression load, click load, lead load, sales load changing? And if it's e-commerce, how are e-sales changing? And how's our footprint in certain states changing or across certain demographics? And then data mining. Once we see that, we want to pick up patterns. Now remember, everything changes, and this is not a kind world. Marketing is not kind. Again, read Range, the book Range. It's kind versus wicked. In kind, you might think of golf and tennis and chess. All you gotta do is learn all the patterns and you're golden. Learn all the courses and you're golden. Learn all the moves and you're golden. In wicked, it's always changing. Patterns bring you no value. Marketing is kind of in the middle. It's not kind, it's not wicked. Pattern recognition has value, but it's very quick and on the spot, because trends change, marketing changes, buyers change, competition changes. So we want to pick up those changes, get value from it quickly, and get back on the bleeding edge. Remember that patterns of the future, of the past, are not going to be the patterns of the future. But we want to pull value from that at the moment that we see them. And then stay on top of them, being able to iterate and being able to always change like a chameleon. So we want to mine that data and make good decisions and get higher return on marketing, higher return on ad spends. And then forecasting. We see these changes. We're using Google Trends. We're using Google Analytics. We're using Google Search Console. We're staying on top of what Google is changing, and the social medias are changing, and the way people are consuming videos and information. And we are forecasting how we need to change our marketing strategy and stay in front of those. How are the potential buyers and your value proposition? How is it butting up against potential buyers? Are we staying ahead of the curve? Right? Your company has the money to buy a marketer, to pay for a marketer. Like, they're saying, we want to stay in front of the trends. We want to stay in front of the competition. That's what they're saying when they hire you. So forecasting, super important. Optimization, what are we seeing that Google's doing? What are we seeing that these places that provides us impression loads and click loads, what are we seeing their changes saying for us in the future? How we present our information? In what format do we present it? Do we present it in video on YouTube, or do we present it on a blog and share it to our social medias? Do we make different content for LinkedIn or different styles of content for these different channels? Understanding how the channels work together and how we can get more uses for our content, putting it in different forms, and then sharing it in those different channels, and then bringing it back a couple months later where new people might want to find that information, maybe going back and adding or changing some of it, republishing it and sharing it again. And then A/B testing. Google Optimize is a free tool, and it's right there in that suite of tools, and people don't use it enough. Like, this is where you can really test layouts, styles of messaging, and see if there's conversion rate differences. Super important. And then visualization. Google Analytics has a lot of great visualizations, but people even want to see it even more visual, such as in a Data Studio. Super easy to build. Don't have to have a coding bone in your body. You can really watch a couple YouTube videos and make really good stuff. There's a lot of great minds out there. Avanov has a great set. There's a lot of different people that have sets already set up in Analytics and Data Studio, and what people are wanting to see or what your team needs to see. You can really pull those down as templates, learn how to modify them, and eventually make your own. And Tableau is a prime example, another program where you can just segment and present the information for the different people, because different people want different information. We don't want to give all the information to certain people. We want to make sure we tailor that information so that they can help us make the right decisions, and tailor it for the other people so that they can see what they need to see. And all of this is very important as we present that data and then have to make actions and get more budgeting and more timelines and extensions of timelines, or just prove that you're doing the right things and everybody needs to stay on board because we are doing those right things. So that's analyzing data. If you need to watch that again, go back. If not, I'll see you in the next module.